This is the principle from Gerber. When you're in the woods, you don't know what nature's going to throw at you. We designed the principle to meet any need. The Scandinavian grind is built to take a beating and retain its edge, but also excels at carving, whittling, and feather sticking. You don't want to carry extra gear to start a fire, so all you need is the 90-degree edge and a fire steel to throw sparks straight into your tinder. If you do manage to dull your blade, the zero edge makes it really easy to sharpen in the field. Bushcrafting demands a wide array of activities and cuts. The principle has designed-in ergonomics that make the primary 3 grips to support those methods very easy: baseball, precision, and chest lever. And the micro-textured overmold delivers comfort during prolonged use. Full-tang construction and drop-point blade shape deliver incredible strength and versatility. Through-hole rivets can provide tethering in a pinch. It's important to have your knife where you want it when you need it, so we integrated a multi-mount sheath system. You can carry vertically on your belt, horizontal, or attached to MOLLE webbing. Available in 2 colors, this hard-working US-made fixed blade is designed to overcome every obstacle.
The Morakniv Bushcraft Black Sea is a sturdy knife with multifunctional features. The spine is ground to a 90-degree sharp angle, making it compatible with the fire starter. The 3.2mm thick blade is made of carbon steel and has a DLC coating that to some extent protects against rust. Keep in mind though that carbon steel needs to be maintained, so make it a habit to wipe your knife and oil the blade after using it. This knife has everything a real bushcraft enthusiast needs.
Jim Ankerson is a passionate student of metallurgy and its relationship to knife design and performance. Drawing from his hard-earned practical knowledge and years of knife testing experience, he teamed up with custom knife maker Darren Sanders to design a capable, all-purpose knife that is ready for anything. The province's clip-point Bowie-style blade is machined from CPM 4V, a particle metallurgy tool steel enriched with vanadium and molybdenum for high-caliber strength, edge retention, and toughness. Its high saber grind balances strength and edge geometry, while its full-tang handle and contoured G10 scales safeguard a secure, hand-filling grip. Ideally suited for survival, camping, and other demanding applications, the province comes complete with a handcrafted leather sheath.
Got my first pocket knife when I was 5. Made my first knife when I was 9. Been with knives ever since. I'm A.G. Russell, and I designed the Sting 3B for CRKT. There's several unique features in this knife. It's extremely slim, somewhere between a 16th and an 8th. It's enough to make a very rigid knife. And when you hold it, this curve allows a very secure grip. It's a very complex sheath. This latches into the thumb hole like that, so it doesn't come out easily. You have to force it loose with your thumb. Under here you have 2 sets of threaded inserts, so you have a positive attachment with your screws. The clip is reversible. Put it on a belt or wear it in your boot, but if you want to carry it in an inside pocket, you reverse the clips and there you are. This is the Sting 3B.
Kephart was a librarian during a period when library science was pretty new, and he spent 20 years writing about the woods. He was the most influential outdoor writer of his period, and he conglomerated what he knew into this book, which is the Book of Camping and Woodcraft. And almost any question that you have still, 100+ years later, can be answered in here. And a few years ago, or a year or so ago, a good friend of mine came into possession of the only known Kephart designed knife that was not in the museum at Western North Carolina University, which is where Kephart's stuff is. And I was resistant because I'm essentially cheap and wasn't sure I wanted to spend that much money on a knife. And then my good friend Mark Zaleski, who runs Knife Magazine, brought it down here and let me cut something with it. And when I first had it and I cut something with it, I went, damn, 100 years, never been sharpened, and it wants to cut. And the reason I got excited over this rather unprepossessing looking knife is the subtleties in this blade are incredible. And I've always felt that a flat, relatively flat handle gave the best way of figuring out how to index the blade so that you know exactly where the blade is. And it's rounded without being flashy. It was they were handmade at the Colclusser Brothers factory in Pennsylvania. But it's a doubly convex blade with a nice tapered tang, and it feels live in your hand. It has a great feel, great balance, and it just works. It works as well as any knife I've ever had in my hand. And I want everybody to experience what I've experienced with this blade, because it works. This is the K-bar iteration of the iconic Kephart knife. And they have been very careful to do virtually as good a job as get it as close as possible as anybody can get to a knife that was in production, hand forged one by one in a fairly primitive manufacturing facility where people were still pounding them out with a hammer. And it has the nice relief at the top. It's full height ground, which gives it a very slicey, a tremendous amount of slice. It has a slightly tapered tang, just like the original, which helps for the balance. It indexes extraordinarily well, and there's no place you're going to get hot spots. You can work this knife for hours. Many of the copies of the Kephart are based on the one at Western North Carolina University, because it was the only one anybody knew about. And it doesn't look like this anymore because it was sharpened to death. But this one is based off the only known example outside the museum, and that knife is virtually pristine. So this is as close as I think anybody can get to the original Kephart.